Have you ever found yourself questioning your own worth, not because of what you've achieved, but because of a silent, unspoken doubt about your body? In a world obsessed with comparison and perfection, it's easy to let myths and misinformation shape how we see ourselves, especially when it comes to men's health. I'm Dr. Catherine Anderson. I'm a urologist specializing in genitourinary trauma, and today we're going to break the silence around one of the most misunderstood topics in men's health: penis size. This isn't just about numbers or measurements. It's about confidence, self-respect, and reclaiming the truth from decades of distortion. If you've ever wondered, worried, or felt alone in your questions, you are not alone. Today, I invite you to join me for a conversation that could change not just how you see yourself, but how you live your life. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn is not just science, it's freedom. Penis size is not merely a matter of curiosity. For many, it becomes a private source of anxiety, quietly undermining confidence, affecting intimacy, and eroding self-worth. But what does the science actually say? A comprehensive global study, published in the British Journal of Urology International and involving over 15,000 men, found that more than 90% of men fall within a completely normal range. So why, then, do so many men still feel inadequate? The roots of this insecurity often reach back to adolescence. Picture yourself at 13 or 14, stumbling across your first adult video. What you don't realize is that what you're seeing is performance, not biology. The man on screen wasn't chosen at random. He was selected for his size, for camera angles, for shock value. The footage is digitally enhanced, meticulously lit, and edited for maximum impact. Yet, that image becomes your reference point, and it lingers. Layer onto this the bravado of locker room talk, crude comparisons, and the pressure of social media, and suddenly, a completely average body can begin to feel inadequate. Research shows that up to 60% of men experience some level of dissatisfaction with their size, even though over 95% fall within the medically normal range. When women are surveyed, only 5 to 10% say that size is very important in a partner. So where does this obsession originate? The answer is simple. No one ever told you the truth. Not in school, not in health class, and certainly not online. Instead, we were handed myths, false comparisons, and silence. Let's change that, starting now. What is the actual average penis size? And just as importantly, how do you measure it correctly? Here's a surprising fact. Most men measure themselves incorrectly. It's like using a broken scale. No matter how many times you check, you'll never get an accurate answer. Some press the tape too far forward. Some start at the skin instead of the pubic bone. Others measure from underneath, adding centimeters that don't reflect real anatomy. Some don't measure at full erection, or do so when cold, anxious, or barely aroused. In medical research, we use a method called the flaccid stretched length, which is remarkably accurate. Here's how you do it. Stand upright. Use a ruler or soft measuring tape. Place it on top of the penis, starting at the pubic bone, pressing gently into the fat pad for accuracy. While flaccid, gently stretch the penis forward to its full natural length, firmly but never forcefully. Measure from base to tip. This flaccid stretched length closely reflects your true erect length. For girth or circumference, use a soft measuring tape or a piece of string. Wrap it around the thickest part of the shaft, mark where it overlaps, and measure that length. Now, let's look at the real data. A landmark 2015 study, the largest of its kind, analyzed nearly 15,000 men worldwide. The average erect length was 13.2 centimeters, just over 5 inches. The average erect girth was 11.5 centimeters, about 4.5 inches around. Not 8 inches, not 10, not what you saw in that film, just over 5 inches long. And that's the global average. Even more importantly, 90 to 95% of men fall between 10 and 16 centimeters. That's 4 to 6.3 inches. If you're anywhere in that range, you are not below average. You are not lacking. By every medical and scientific standard, you are completely normal. But what about the extremes? At one end, we have the medical definition of a micropenis, less than 7.5 centimeters, or about 3 inches, when stretched or erect. At the other end is macropenis, anything over 24 centimeters, or 9.5 inches. These are extremely rare genetic outliers, not benchmarks for masculinity, and certainly not goals to chase. The vast majority of men fall within the average range, but perception is not reality, especially when you're comparing yourself to fantasy. Now let me clear you one thing. Adult film actors are not average men. They are selected for one exaggerated feature, and even then, the illusion is enhanced with camera angles, stage lighting, prosthetics, and, in some cases, digital enlargement. A 2016 investigation by Men's Health magazine found that some adult scenes are edited after filming to digitally extend size. It's not just exaggerated, it's engineered. But your brain doesn't see the edits, it just sees bigger. And somewhere deep down, you start believing that you are smaller. Even worse, many men compare themselves flaccid, in a mirror, in a cold room, or under stress. The penis is incredibly responsive to temperature, anxiety, and blood flow. A chill or a moment of tension can shrink it by half. Compare that to someone fully aroused, under professional lighting, with digital enhancement, and the comparison becomes not just unfair, but absurd. Yet, that absurdity breeds insecurity. Insecurity becomes anxiety, and anxiety can seep into relationships, confidence, and self-esteem. But none of this is rooted in biology. It's not science, it's distortion. A study from UCLA's Department of Urology found that most men seeking enhancement already had normal size, and after surgery, 40% remained dissatisfied. Many of these procedures carry serious risks, especially when not medically necessary. And beyond a certain point, around 6 to 12 inches, more size does not mean more satisfaction. In fact, it can lead to discomfort for a partner. So, what actually works? Let's talk about the real tools that can improve how you look, feel, and perform. First, reduce fat around the pubic area. As abdominal fat builds, the penis appears shorter, not because it shrinks, but because it retreats into the fat pad. Studies show that losing just 2 inches off your waist can add up to 1 to 1.2 centimeters in visible length. Second, improve blood flow. The penis is a vascular organ, not a muscle. More blood means more fullness. Eat nitrate-rich foods like beets, spinach, and arugula. Consider supplements like L-citrulline or L-arginine, but always under medical guidance. Stay hydrated. Quit smoking. And yes, do pelvic floor exercises. Kegels are not just for women. They strengthen the muscles that control blood flow, rigidity, and control. Third, check your hormones. Testosterone is your biological fuel. It affects mood, libido, circulation, and overall vitality. When it drops, nighttime erections may decrease and tissue becomes less responsive. That can change how your body performs and how it looks. Ask your doctor for a full hormone panel: total testosterone, free testosterone, SHBG, and estradiol. If you're low, start with natural steps: better sleep, resistance training, more zinc, less alcohol. And if needed, explore medically supervised options. Fourth, stop comparing. Start connecting. You are not a number, not a measurement, not a ruler on a screen. What satisfies a partner is not length, it's connection, confidence, and presence. And last but not least, seek real guidance. If you're considering enhancement, pause. Ask yourself honestly, am I doing this because something is broken, or because I was never taught the truth? If the answer is emotional, talk to a therapist, not a clinic. Body dysmorphia is real, and the damage from acting on it without healing the root cause can be permanent. Now, the truth is, you may already have what you've been chasing all along: normalcy. The majority of men are well within the normal range, and that is not a consolation prize, that is reality. So, what's the real takeaway? You are not your measurement. You are your mindset. The power lies not in changing your body, but in understanding it, respecting it, and optimizing it. When you stop obsessing over size, you can finally focus on health. And when you do that, everything improves. Your performance, your confidence, your relationships. So ask yourself, what's more powerful? Being above average on a ruler, or being in control of your body, your mind, and your life? I think you already know the answer. As we wrap up today's conversation, remember, your worth is not defined by a number, but by your confidence, your health, and the way you show up in your life and relationships. Most of what you've heard about penis size is simply myth, and now you have the science and the truth to move forward with confidence. If this video helped you, please share it, because you never know who else is struggling in silence. Leave your questions in the comments below. I answer them all, always with respect and confidentiality. And make sure to subscribe, because in my upcoming video, I'll be diving even deeper into the questions so many men have but are too afraid to ask. Why does your penis seem smaller than your brother's? What are the real reasons behind size differences? Is it genetics, hormones, childhood health, or something else entirely? We'll explore the science, the history, and the truth about what really shapes your body, and who, if anyone, is to blame. Don't miss it. Subscribe now for more honest, science-based answers to the questions that matter most. Remember, you are enough, exactly as you are. Go forward with confidence and live your life without limits.